friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk Books with Shannon. I am Shannon. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about books that I want to finish before the end of the year. So let's get started. This is the Haites series. This chunky book here is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Fantasy is new to me this year. I've read 7 or 8 fantasy books this year. I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series and absolutely loved it. I am on the 3rd book in the Haites series, and I've read a couple others, I think from the Selection series. I think that's considered dystopian fantasy. And anyway, so I am new to the genre, but I am enjoying it very much. Now, the 2nd book in this one was followed Rhys and Feyre, and I loved it. And their romance was just spectacular. This one, as I understand it, is less romance and more political. And there's a war going on, and Feyre is in the enemy court trying to get their secrets. And so I've been a little hesitant to begin it. I don't know what it is about a thick book that makes me look at it and say, I think I'll read something else. So I don't know if you're like that, but I tend to be hesitant when a book is thick. But once I get into it, I'm fine. I roll with it. But yeah, so I want to get this one read before the end of the year, so I'll just have 2 left in the series. Okay, next book I want to read before the end of the year is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I have read the Chestnut Springs series and I read the Gold Rush Ranch series and absolutely love them. Elsie Silver's one of my favorite authors, so I'm very excited to start this series as well. And the 2nd book just came out, so I'm behind, so I want to get this one read before the end of the year. This one follows Ford, who is a very small character in the one of the the Chestnut Springs series. And in this book, he's a billionaire and he's starting a recording studio, and he finds out that he has a 12-year-old daughter. So this is going to be single dad trope. He's also fallen for one of his employees, Rosie. So anyway, that's all I know about this book, but I'm excited about it because Elsie Silver can do no wrong. All right, next book that I want to read before the end of the year is Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the last book in the Natural series. So if you're not familiar with our Natural series, it is a YA, young adult crime series. The FBI recruits these kids to work on cold cases, and they're all geniuses. And there's 2 profilers, and there's one who can read emotions. There's another who can tell when someone's lying, and there's another one who's really good with statistics and facts. There's a love triangle in the series, and they also, Cassie, one of the main characters throughout all the books, has been trying to solve her mother's murder. So I am excited to wrap this one up. This has been a very fun mystery series for me. Jessa Hastings, Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. This is the 4th book in the Magnolia Parks series, and I am unexpectedly enjoying this series. If you're not familiar with this one is London socialites who are very rich, and they get into all sorts of trouble and make all kinds of mistakes and even enable each other a little bit. And for some reason, you root for them. And I don't know why, because I really didn't think I would like that, but I do. So I'm excited to read this one. This one is a lot of people's favorite of the series. So this one has Julian, who is Daisy's brother. He's a gang lord. And Daisy, I think, gets into some sort of trouble and needs protection, gets protection from Julian and Christian, her ex-boyfriend. So, and Magnolia Parks also makes an appearance in this. Julian and Magnolia have always had a thing going, so there will be that element as well. Excited to get that one read. I know what you're going to say. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. You're thinking, girl, why have you not read this book? I know, this is loved by so many people. Again, I'm just new to fantasy, so I, read some fantasy and then I take a break. But I am enjoying it. I just am always a little intimidated by it. I don't know why. I figure there's going to be a lot of world building and that it's going to be complicated. So once I get into it, I'm fine. But this one looks really good, and I'm just going to read you a couple quotes off the back because I think they're really beautiful. Peyton says, and I've never been looked at like it's a privilege to be in my presence, an honor to hold my gaze, a gift to get a glimpse of me. not until I met him. I just love that. And Kai says, if I am to be her enemy, I want it to be because she loathes herself for wanting me. Anyway, excited to read that one and kind of get in on all the hoopla. All right, I want to read. I have 2 to finish in the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. So the goal is the 4th book in the series. And this one follows John Tucker, who is the quiet hockey player. This is a hockey series. And Sabrina James. Now, Sabrina James is a villain in the previous book, so it'll be interesting to see how they turn that around for her. And this one is an unexpected pregnancy trope. Which isn't always my favorite, but I really loved John Tucker in the early books, so I think it'll be good. Looking forward to it. And the last book in that series is The Legacy, also by Elle Kennedy. And this one follows all 4 couples after college. So, and just them trying to navigate their life and the things that come up that college really doesn't prepare you for. I know there's a wedding, it says, a proposal, an elopement, and a surprise pregnancy. So that one will wrap that one up. And then Elle Kennedy has another series that I plan on starting at the beginning of the year. And I think it involves these couples' children. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to read Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I read the first one, which is Icebreaker, in this series and enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was a 3-star for me. This series follows is our hockey romances. However, this one I don't think there's a lot of hockey in it. But this one I think I'll like better than the first one because Russ was in the first book and he was a side character and I absolutely loved him. And in this book, he's the main character. So this one follows Russ and Aurora. Yeah. And they have a one-night stand and that's the end of it. And then they end up working at a summer camp together, unexpectedly, unknowingly. And sparks fly. So I am excited to get into that one also because the 3rd one in this series just came out also recently, Daydream, and people are raving about that one as well. There are 2 Emily Henry books. Whoops. I'm back. There's 2 Emily Henry books that I haven't read yet, so I want to get those read before the end of the year. People We Meet on Vacation, and this one follows, Poppy and Alex, who are friends, and they end up going on summer vacations together. They live apart, but they see each other only in the summer. And then one summer, something ruins that, and they become estranged. So then there's a reconnection later on. So I want to really read this one because Abby Jimenez, who is also one of my favorite authors, says on the back, absolutely my favorite read of the year and probably one of my favorite books of all time. That's really high praise from her. So want to get that one read this year. The other Emily Henry book that I have not read is her newest one, which is Funny Story. Don't know a lot about this one. I know it follows Daphne and Miles, and I think that like Daphne's engaged and Miles has a girlfriend, and the boyfriend and the girlfriend end up getting together, and then that leaves Daphne and Miles alone. I'm not sure, but they become roommates, and their relationship develops from there. So mixed reviews on this one. But it's Emily Henry. I can't imagine her writing a bad book. So I want to get that one read by the end of the year as well. A few Christmas books. I would like to read, I always like to read Christmas books during the month of December. So I'm going to make sure I read a few but at the end of the year. I'm going to read Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison. I want to get this one read this year because the series... There's a series, and this one is the first book in the series, and it's at Christmas time. So I'm going to read this one and then start the new series in the new year. So this one follows Stella, who has a Christmas tree farm, and she has a best friend, Luca, and the Christmas tree farm is in danger, and she enters some sort of contest that has a cash prize of $100,000. Okay, she needs to make the farm look like a romantic destination. So she lies on the application and tells them that she has a boyfriend and that he owns the farm with her. So the problem with that is that there's no boyfriend. So Luca, who is her best friend, stops in for hot chocolate one day and ends up leaving with a fake girlfriend, and the story goes from there. So, fake dating, always fun. And Along Came Holly by Cody Hall. Now last year, I'm going to hold these up briefly, I read the first 2 books. There's interconnected standalones, so you don't have to read these first 2 to read the third one. But last Christmas I read these 2, which was Nick and Nicole's Christmas Playlist and There's Something About Mary, and I gave both of them like 3.25 and 4 stars. So I really enjoyed them. So I want to make sure I read the last in the Christmas series this year. This one follows Holly Winters. Of course, her name is Holly because it's a Christmas story, and she lives in Mistletoe, Idaho. Where else would she live? But anyway, she owns a holiday shop, and this is going to be Grumpy Sunshine because the male main character has a hardware store nearby, and they do not get along, and they play pranks on each other, and it's not pretty. So it's going to be enemies to lovers, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that one. The last holiday read that I picked up is All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. I heard good things about this one last year. This one follows Sadie and Max, who are contestants on a reality singing show in Nashville. And they end up doing a duet together for part of the contest, and everyone falls in love with them. And the show wants to promote them as a couple. And of course, the problem with that is that they hate each other. Of course they do. So it's going to be fake dating again. I love fake dating, so that's good. So anyway, I love the Christmas vibes. So hopefully, along with everything else that comes up, because I read a lot of library books that pop up, and I'm going to be mood reading in October for the Halloween season. So hopefully I'll still get all of these read by the end of the year. So I think that wraps us up. So thanks for tuning in. Again, hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment if you've read some of these books, if you want to read some of these books, and let's interact. I love talking to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, let's take care of each other always. Happy reading.